Hello! In today's episode of The Hike, we are going to hit some of the beautiful falls in the Columbia River Gorge. And we are going to start from the Vista House mansion that was built in 1918. And from there, we're going to kick off the hike. And all of these hikes are just off of 22, the historic Highway 22. And you can cover them in a day's worth of hiking. We're going to cover every one of them starting from the Latourell Falls, and from there on we are going to head up to the Sheppherds Dell, and following the Sheppherds Dell we are going to cover the Bridal Whales, and from the Bridal Whale Fall we are going to go down to Wahkeena Falls, Wahkeena to Multnomah Falls, and from Multnomah Falls we're going to hit the Oneonta Falls, which is also called the Oneonta Bridge Falls. We're not going to cover the Oneonta, the lower one, because the lower one is severely damaged from the fire and it's kind of out of bounds at this point. Following the Oneonta Bridge Falls, we're going to cover the Horsetail Falls as well as the Ponytail Falls. The Aloha Falls, which is the last of the falls on 22, is still not open to the public. It's again severely damaged from the fire, and that particular falls is still closed. But let's get started and start heading up each one of these falls, and I'll walk you through with some key information about each of these magnificent falls in the Columbia River Gorge. There you see we've got an interactive animation that shows you the different falls on the map that we have set out to cover today. We're going to kick off the hike from the magnificent Vista House mansion, and from there we are going to drive down to the very first of the falls, which is called the Latourell Falls. The Latourell Falls is about 224 feet in all, bordering the town of Latourell. The upper falls can be reached after a hike of about 1.5 miles from the trailhead. This one, the upper one, plunges into a pool. The one that you see there is the lower Latourell Falls, and after a hike of about 1.5 miles, you would hit the upper Latourell Falls. The total round trip to cover these two falls is about 3 miles, with an elevation gain of approximately 800 feet. There you see a video that I hiked when it was actually raining, and in fact I left my bag in the pack in the car and took an umbrella and hiked around this trail, so you can see occasionally the umbrella interrupting the video and drops of rain falling off. Incidentally, it's probably the best to hike some of these falls when it rains, because the falls are full and a beautiful sight to watch. That's an interesting tree arch as we loop around the Latourell Falls trail. The next one that we're going to hit is the Sheppherds Dell. This is pretty much on the bridge itself. That is again a historical bridge, and right off about 0.1 mile you would be able to get down to the top of this falls. The Sheppherds Dell is about 42 feet in all from the lower and on the upper, and 50 feet on the lower. In all, about 92 feet this fall plunges in. This is an easy one to check off, as it's pretty much right off 22. There is not much of a parking, just a few cars at a time can park there, but this is a beautiful falls that's within easy reach. The next falls that we're going to hit along this route is the Bridal Falls, and it's approximately 1 mile in round trip, and it flows in 2 tiers for a total of about 120 feet. It's truly breathtaking with the immense volume of water that flows down this falls. And this 2-tiered falls is approximately 120 feet. And close by, there's an old sawmill that, or what's called as a lumber mill, which is called as the Bridal Lumber Company. There isn't a clear path to get there, so keep off of this. The next falls that we're going to do is the Wahkeena Falls, and the lower Wahkeena Falls is right off the highway, and the upper part of the Wahkeena Falls is about 1.8 miles round trip, and an elevation gain of about 565 over some nice switchbacks. The next falls that you see there is the Multnomah Falls. This requires no intro. It's the most popular falls in the Columbia River Gorge, and the total height of this falls is about 620 feet. The upper falls that you see right there is about 542, and the lower part of it from the Benson Bridge that you can see is about 69 feet, or say approximately 70 feet. And the historic Multnomah Falls is just close by from the trailhead. The falls that you see there right now is what's called as the Oneonta Falls, or the bridge Oneonta Falls, as the lower Oneonta Falls is still not open to public from the 2017 forest fire. And also the lower Oneonta Falls is a little requires a little bit of wading in the water, ankle, and sometimes higher up, and you want to go there during the low season so that you can get up close to the lower Oneonta Falls. This one you can get up close as far as a bridge can take you, and get a pretty good of the view of this. And it can, as you can see in the distance, the forest fire devastation is still visible. The next falls on this trail is on this road is the Horsetail Falls. And this plunges about 176 feet, and on Route 22 for the combined height of both the lower and the upper falls. And there is even a viewing deck, a historic viewing deck from where you can observe and watch this falls. From here you can take a short approximately 1 mile round trip to get to the Ponytail Falls, which is further up, and you can actually get right behind the falls as the trail passes through it. On a good day, you could even go from here all the way up to the Oneonta Falls as well, if you choose to, and complete another big loop. In all, this is a beautiful hike that you can check all of these great falls in a span of 1 day's worth of hiking. Highly recommended, and I'll see you again in the next video where I'll cover other falls in the Columbia River Gorge as part of the Part 2 series. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.